Alito sa hitchafo unti huma Oklahoma City atale chatasia. My name, my Christianized name is Jesse Robbins. My people, the Choctaw Chutta people, call me unti huma Red Eagle. I'm 26 and I'm from Oklahoma City. I first got involved with hip hop probably around the age of 22. I got in trouble, got thrown in jail for distribution of a controlled dangerous substance. When I got out, I wanted to become positive for the youth. I saw I didn't belong in there, I didn't feel. So when I got out, I started doing poetry around it, high schools in Oklahoma City. And I felt that I wasn't reaching the youth. They liked me and what I talked about, but I didn't feel they were hearing my poetry. And so I sat down and I thought for a while, well, what are our youth listening to? What do they want to hear? And I read a study once that something like 80% of our youth on and off the res are listening to rap music, radio rap music. And so I listened to it and I really didn't like what I heard. And so I remember the stories of Coyote and Trickster growing up, how they would trick people. And sometimes it could be for something good. So I figured I would play Coyote and take the elder's message, put it in the youth's form, not necessarily tricking the youth, but using that form that way to trick them into what's cool, because they're being tricked right now by this assimilated idea of these capitalistic virtues and things that I didn't agree with. And so that's really the reason I got into hip hop, is to reach more of our youth. It's the main reason. When I write, to be honest, I write to express myself. I would love anybody that feels they can relate to me to accept what I'm saying without judgment, and to see it as something positive, because that's truly what I'm trying to do. So that's great if the youth gravitate towards it. I'm really happy about that, because I feel I'm spreading something positive that they can use within their own lives. I obviously understand it'd be harder for elders to accept my music, because it's such of a generation gap and things, but I love it when elders have came up to me and told me they loved my message and the poetry within my music. And I really enjoy when an elder tells me they're listening to my music. It makes me feel good that I'm being supported by not just our youth, but our elders as well. The main ways I've used to get my message out is obviously is music. Doing shows is also a big part of what I do. Speaking, I've done a lot of speaking engagements. I've just now got into acting a little bit, all which I feel is in the same spirit of what I'm trying to do, is kind of being a storyteller. At a different time, obviously, but like all our traditions they've evolved over time. Even our ancestors 1,000 years ago probably didn't do things the same way that their ancestors did 1,000 years before that. And so I feel I'm still trying to do that through storytelling, whether that be acting, poetry, speaking, or hip hop. I feel I'm trying to let the world know we're still here, and give some kind of positive pride towards our people to look towards and see someone that doesn't drink, someone that tries to respect women, has flaws, but is trying the best he can to represent the people in a positive way. First, my biggest influence, I would have to say, is I know it sounds a little bit corny, but it would probably be my dad, who came from nothing, as they say, really poor, small town. No one graduated high school before him, and he went on to attend Oxford, and became a professor, and was a really great writer as well and speaker. And I would see that, and I would see the people gravitating towards him and listening, and see how honest he was about it, not just for show, but how he honestly wanted to help people. That's my biggest influence. There's also influences outside of the native world that have influenced me, and within poetry, like Pablo Neruda. And if we get into it, maybe he was native, of native descent, but he's a big influence. Obviously, my ancestors and the stories I've heard of them were always a big influence. Our stories I attribute to our ancestors. So, as well as hip hop artists like in the native hip hop world, like Keith IMC, Brian Frijo from my city, who have been doing it since 1988, a long time. Another native MC, Nemesis, who also is the freestyle king of Oklahoma City, who really thinks about what he says before just spitting it out. As well as other people in other music genres, Bob Dylan, Woody Guthrie, Johnny Cash, as well as the Ramones. You give me a musical genre and I can tell you who's influenced me in him. I've had so many influences, I'm sure. Subconsciously, I'm a rip-off of all of them. But everything inspires me. Mother Earth inspires me. Father Sky inspires me. Things around me inspire me. So all of my relations inspire me, really, when I sit down and really think about it. The rap world has been, and hip-hop in general, has been corrupted by really Euro-American thought ways, in my opinion. It's true, there's 90% of the music you hear on the radio and what I call rap is geared towards money, sex, drugs, alcohol, what they say YOLO. Nowadays kids are saying YOLO, you only live once. But when I speak at schools, I tell them, no, that stands for you obviously lack originality. I ask the youth to quit being cowards. That isn't our way. Traditionally, a warrior wouldn't follow people. He would do what needed to be done to help the people. Are you doing that? Or are you following what our society is telling you to do? Are you a zombie? I even and this is a little harsh, but I even use the analogy of being a hoe, being pimped by the radio. The radio is the pimp. Are you a hoe? Are you going to let this pimp keep keeping you down and slapping you, and you keep having to make money and do the things that he tells you to do for him? I definitely see that, and it's hard because this has happened through all genres of art, I feel. There's always been this cliche, fake things about rock that's been geared towards capitalistic virtues again, and whatever society is telling you is important. There has to be a time where we as youth look inside ourselves and are brave enough to sit down and really think about what's healthy and what is not, what's really fun to them and what is not. Again, that's what I say the difference is between hip hop and rap. KRS-One says, one of my rap idols, hip hop is a combination of two words. Hip being to be update, relevant. Hop being a movement. You can't just sit down and observe a hop. You have to do it. And so hip and hop together. Hip hop is an intelligent movement. Is what you're hearing on the radio an intelligent movement? Of course not. So that's not hip hop. That's something else. I don't know. Maybe that's what rap is. But again, this has happened throughout history. This was happening since Europeans have gotten here. There's been followers of that way. We have to learn to maneuver through a linear society without completely losing ourselves in that greed. In my language, naholo, lover of things, we have to learn how to beat that, and again, step back into our ceremonies and see what is truly relevant to our people and can help our people. Who are you helping by drinking, by glorifying that? Are you really following your ways by calling a woman a bitch, or hitting a woman, and that being glorified? Because I hear it all the time on songs. What is that helping? Why are you doing that? Ask why you're doing this, instead of just acting this out, this function of this robot of what they're creating themselves as. So I definitely see it, and what I try to do through hip hop is emulate something totally different from that, and fight against it. And you know what I mean, I can be just as street as anybody without being a gangster. I can be just in touch with the youth without drinking or selling drugs or something. And so that doesn't mean I'm soft. To me, I'm a warrior because I go against the grain.